Welcome to the Ultimate Body Language Guide. Being able to read body language is crucial when it comes to making new friends and deepening your existing relationships. So I've decided to create this series where we go over hundreds of movements with real live actors to help you improve your social skills. In this video, we will cover everything there is to know about the legs and the feet. All of this information is taken from the Dictionary of Body Language by Joe Navarro. Please support him and his work by purchasing his book. With that being said, let's dive into the legs. Spatial distancing. Everyone has a need for personal space. If this space is violated by someone who is not of the appropriate comfort level, you will be able to see signs of discomfort. The range of this space depends on the culture, personal preference, and also the relationship between the people within the space. Public spaces, which range from 12 to 25 feet apart, is the average comfort zone for complete strangers. Social spaces, which range from 4 to 12 feet apart, is for acquaintances. Personal spaces, which range from 1 to 4 feet, is for close friends and family members. And finally, intimate spaces, which is anything under 1 foot, is something that people feel comfortable sharing with their partners. Territorial stances. We use our legs to claim territory. This opens ourselves up to being challenged, which is why the further apart the feet, the higher the levels of confidence this person will have in themselves. Often seen in people with positions of power, like police officers and military. Territorial challenge. Getting too close into someone's personal space without the proper amount of rapport leads to feelings of discomfort. Sometimes this is purposely done in order to intimidate and provoke the other individual, which is why you will often see this being used before a fight. Angling to the side. Face-to-face conversations can create a feeling of confrontation, which is why most socially adept individuals will approach and talk to others at a slight angle. Doing this allows you to be better received by the other party. Walking behaviors. You can tell a lot from the way someone walks. Some people will purposely walk and exaggerate the movement of their hips to increase sex appeal, while others will have exaggerated movements in their shoulders to show confidence. Legs sitting. The space between one's legs while they are sitting in public gives an accurate representation of how confident they are currently feeling. Open legs means more confidence, while closed legs is a sign of insecurity. Be on the lookout for sudden changes in spacing, as that will show you what's really happening within them. And also keep in mind that in some places, keeping your legs close together while sitting can just be proper social etiquette. Ankles locking. When people suddenly lock their feet in a formal setting, this is usually a sign of restraint. They might feel hesitant to say something, or they might be feeling uncomfortable. This often happens when something controversial is brought up. Ankles locking around chair. Some people do this all the time, but if you observe someone suddenly doing this during an interaction, this is usually a powerful indicator that something is very wrong. This can also be a freeze response, which refers to the fight, flight, freeze responses that we all have when confronted with fear. Knee clasp while leaning back. Often seen during interviews and interrogations, this is a sign of high levels of stress and nervousness. Knee clasping while leaning forward. This is a clear signal that someone is looking to leave. Try not to do this when interacting with other people that you want to build rapport with. Crossing leg to create a barrier. This is a defensive position. It is a sign that someone is uncomfortable. You must observe which leg is being used to create the barrier. If it is the leg closer to you, then it is a clear sign that you may be the one causing this reaction. Leg draping. This is when you hang your leg over other objects, including chairs, tables, and sometimes other people. Often used by people who feel extremely confident and comfortable in the current environment. Leg rubbing. This is when we rub the upper part of our thighs with our hands. This is a pacifying behavior that is used to calm ourselves down in high-stress situations. Knee rubbing. Slightly different from leg rubbing, as you are rubbing or scratching the spot above your knee instead of the upper thigh. This can either be a sign of excitement or it can be a pacifying behavior like leg rubbing. Leg shaking. People will often shake their legs and ankles when they are feeling restless or anxious, but it's also very important to note that many people do this out of habit. Knee hugging. This is often used by kids and teenagers to comfort themselves. It can be used to deal with negative emotions, but it can also be used simply as a comfortable way to sit. Standing with legs crossing. This is a sign that someone feels comfortable with their current environment. If you see someone uncross their legs from this position, this is usually a sign that they suddenly feel less comfortable, even if it's only slightly. Leg kicking while sitting, usually used to shake off discomfort while sitting, can occur with just one or both legs. The more intense the level of discomfort, the more intense the kicking. Jumping. When someone jumps outside of a sports setting, it is almost always a sign of joy. It means that they are feeling extremely happy, often seen when accomplishing something great or hearing amazing news. Now that we've covered everything there is to know about the legs, it's time for us to move on to the feet. Starting off, we have footwear. You can tell a lot about someone, their occupation, and the amount of wealth they have by looking at their shoes and how well kept they are. People will often look at someone's shoes when they first meet them to quickly gauge someone's status, which is why this episode was brought to you with the help of the guys at Vessi Footwear. It's important that you sport clean and fashionable shoes so that you look like someone who is of high status. And Vessi is perfect for this. They are the world's first waterproof knit shoes. Their shoes are light, comfortable, and best of all, they can keep your feet 100% waterproof in even the harshest of weathers. I know I'll be using these whenever I go traveling to some harsh climate. And also look at how our models sport them. It looks pretty good, doesn't it? Vessi shoes are perfect for dressing up a bit for first dates and for dressing down a bit when you're just out meeting strangers, especially if it's raining outside, because it will be an amazing conversation starter. If you like a pair of fashionable shoes with built-in tech that will seriously impress people, then click on the link in the description box below and use coupon code PILL to get $25 off anything in their store. Dragging feet. This is often used while sitting. This is a sign that someone is feeling impatient. It is sometimes used when people feel nervous. Ankle scratching. Similar to leg and knee rubbing, ankle scratching is a pacifying movement used to comfort yourself. This is often seen in high-stress situations. Frozen feet. This is when someone's feet suddenly stops moving. This is usually a freeze response that we use when we are scared or feel threatened. Foot withdrawing. When you notice someone suddenly doing this, it is almost always a sign that they are feeling more uncomfortable. Something has just happened that triggered this movement. Playing footsies. People will bump into the feet of those they are attracted to. If it happens just once, it may be an accident. But if it happens multiple times in a short period of time, it is usually a sign of interest. Foot turning away. When someone turns a single foot away from the person they are talking to, this is a sign that they are getting ready or want to leave. This might mean that they are starting to become more and more uncomfortable with the situation. Both feet turning away. If both feet are turned towards the nearest exit or away from someone they are interacting with, this is a clear sign that they dislike this person or something about the interaction they are currently having. Toes pointed inward. When someone makes this movement, it is usually because they are starting to feel shy or vulnerable. Toes pointing up. This movement, just like jumping, falls under the category of gravity-defying movements, which are usually a sign that someone is currently feeling positive emotions. Bouncy feet. This is a movement that people make when they experience strong positive emotions, such as excitement or intense sudden joy. Poker players who get amazing hands will often be seen making this movement. Foot tapping. This can mean many things. For example, it might just mean someone is tapping along with some music. Others have a habit of doing this to simply pass the time, similar to leg shaking. And finally, this is also seen when we are becoming impatient. Pacing. When someone walks back and forth, this is usually a sign that they are thinking extremely hard about something or that they are dealing with a very stressful situation. Feet pointing towards someone. People unconsciously move towards things that they desire. If someone is sitting or standing stationary with someone that they have a crush on, you'll notice that their feet will point towards that person. Leg tantrums. This is when someone makes large, erratic movements with their feet. It is usually a sign of extreme anger and frustration. Foot stomps. This is usually done in 1 or 2 stomps. This is a sign that someone is extremely irritated. It is often done loudly to get the attention of someone. It's basically like saying, "Hey, you're pissing me off." Shoe dangling. This is something that women do more often than men, and it is usually a sign of extreme comfort. This may also be seen on dates when feeling attracted to the other person. And that's it. We've covered everything you need to know about the legs and the feet. I suggest that you replay this video with the audio off and cover the boxes with the definitions to test yourself and see if you know what each of these signs mean. We will be covering the other body parts in a playlist that I will link to in the description box below, so make sure you study all of those videos as well. If you'd like to receive news and updates on when the next episode in this series will be out, you can simply sign up for our newsletter in the description box below. You'll also receive a free mini course that will help you out on your self-improvement journey by doing so. Besides that, guys, stay tuned.